All right, guys, we're back. So let's start right off by blowing the whistle. Let's open a page from Payne's Investment Playbook. Now, we talked about the Federal Reserve. Well, they have a dual mandate, right? Their official mandate is jobs and inflation. But let's face it, there's another unofficial mandate, and that's to get this housing market going. And, well, obviously, it's a tougher job than certainly in the stock market. For one thing, there's the aftermath of the worst housing crisis in generations. But I think things are really starting to look up. Let's just take this week, for instance. Yesterday, the Home Builder Confidence Report spiked to its highest level since January. That's good news. And then this morning, we had housing starts and permits. Look at this spike, guys. I mean, that's amazing. Both of them zoom well past consensus estimates, and you can see there was a revision to June. Starts are now at their fastest pace since June of 2008, and you can obviously see gaining momentum. And then there's some anecdotal stuff I've been watching for the last couple of weeks. Amazing comp store sales at furniture stores like Mattress Firm. The same store sales are almost 10%. And then there's this morning, Home Depot blew away Wall Street consensus, top and bottom, and then they upped their guidance for the full year. You can see the stock has been sideways like the home market, broke out to a new all-time high. I think that's a good omen, guys, and a great proxy for the housing market. So let's do it. Let's dig into our next real deal. Now, the panel knows I've been calling for a second half boom in the housing market, and the numbers have been inconsistent at best. Okay, I've been wrong. But now I think we're coming around. I will say, there are a lot of ways that you can play this boom, including stocks that I've given you on the show before. Now, if you like this and you think I might be right, United Rental's up a lot since we talked about it, but I continue to think it's the one stock you want to own because of the multifamily units. They're building apartments like crazy. Matt, are you on board with the second half housing boom? Are you finally convinced? And if so, what's the best way to take advantage of it?
I've kind of been on board with you. I wasn't too much of a naysayer. You know, I own some stocks that are related to that. I think it will continue, and I think there's still great valuation. We're not going to see a boom per se, but I think it will be consistent, more consistent in the second half than we were in the first half, continuing to grow. A stock that I bought for clients recently is Eagle Materials, which they do some gypsum board, they do concrete, and what they also have, which I love, is in 2013 they opened up a facility to do frac sand. So not only are you getting exposure to the residential and commercial housing, you have some exposure to the
Beautiful
fracking
chart.
as well.
The chart up on the screen now. Look right on the cusp of a huge
about
breakout.
to break out to an all-time high.
And I think it had pretty strong volume today, too.
I don't know what boom you're talking about, Charles Payne. I mean, we are talking, when we saw the single-family home starts, they were at 2.6 million in 2006. We are nowhere near that. They were up 10%, which is good, but look at the multifamily homes. That's 50%. So what that tells me is that people want to rent. They don't want to buy homes. They're actually moving more towards the rental market than they are trying to buy homes.
That's not true, because the rental prices are going through the roof, which is actually forcing people back into homes.
No, people want to. They don't even care. They don't want the headache of owning a home.
Care what they spend.
You guys are both right, and you want to know why they are renting. But it's because they don't have down payments. Everybody talks about millennials not getting into the housing market. We don't want to rent. You think we never want to own homes? We don't have the money for a down payment. So when everyone's down on my generation for living in mom's basement, I would like to hope and think that they are sacking away some money. But to Danny's point about wages not raising, I mean, if your wages rise by 1 penny, how can you ever accumulate enough money for a down payment?
Well, we know millennials have half their money in cash, so maybe at some point they'll feel confident enough, or they'll say, why am I paying the landlord $3,000 a month to live in a closet?
Well, two things are at play here. Number one, banks are just not lending like they used to in the good old days. And also, like we talked about a little bit earlier, rates will rise at some point in the next year plus. So that means that the window for opportunity here to get low rates is really small. And they're going to start feeling that as we get closer and closer.
It's going to be more impossible to get a down payment.
When they start seeing mortgage rates go up, people get nervous and they're going to start rushing into homes, in my opinion. So that actually might be good with rates going up.
I've always kind of felt that, and then a few times over the last few years, every time they started to go up, I didn't see that knee-jerk reaction. I think what might help, I think housing prices went up too fast.
Yeah.
I really do.
But that was due to the buyers of those houses were generally institutional investors.
Sure,
exactly.
So the big buyers are a whole bunch of family funds and different institutions and individuals that had a lot of capital that said, wow, this is a huge opportunity. Let's go buy this big swath of houses and rent them out. And that's what happened. That was the big buying.
And I think we get a little bit of a pullback combined with the idea that, okay, rates are low, the price is right, has come back to my range. That might trigger the sort of thing that, because there's got to be some pent up demand, Heatha.
But the way to play this, I mean, I feel like just sort of the halo effect in terms of the multifamily homes that are being built. A lot of people want to similar to Home Depot, they want to get that houseware stuff in there. Target, Kohl's, a lot of these stores, you're going to see a big bump up when it comes to these homewares when they're buying.
And Lowe's reports tomorrow, and
Yes.
you saw that stock do a little well because of Home Depot. So we think that that's
TJ
probably
Maxx had a
gonna do
huge
well
number
tomorrow.
today. They own Home Goods.
Yep, they have Home Goods.
Home
Exactly.
Goods. Oh my God! Let me tell you something. My mother is probably the best stock picker in the world. She's been going to Home Goods for like a decade now. If I'd have bought the stock the first day she took me to Home Goods, I'd be doing the show from a yacht. You guys would be sitting here watching me on a
Right.
remote.
And they own Marshalls as well. So
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds good.
Well-
I live next to a TJ Maxx, and that thing is packed. There's people every morning at 9 a.m. waiting to get in there. It's amazing.
Well, it's just like we talk about how outlet stores are doing so well too, because low-end consumers don't have the money to go out there and go to the malls or go to
Right.
more
So
expensive
before we shift
decorated
gears too
stores.
much, housing recovery, yes or no?
Yes, not yet.
Not yet. We'll see it more next year.
And if it does happen, is there a stock play on it?
You know, I still like the home builders for that, but a little bit later, the toll brothers.
They're already down. You don't want to buy them now?
Nope, not right now.
Golly, you're scaring me.
There's still a little
I'm
time.
down in some of these things. Pump them up. Come on now.
No boom, but I do like some of the home builders too, like Norton.
Speaking of the woman's going to drop $1 gazillion on a new house. Did you buy that new place yet?
No, of course. Yeah, I've had it for a year now.
Congratulations.
And I keep doing the home improvements. I'm that person that's pumping up that Home Depot stock.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot. Up next, the first investment idea of the show. The company broke out past technical resistance this morning, set a new high for the year. That's a buy signal, and I think it's going to be a huge winner. So we'll be right back in 3 minutes to help you make some money.